so much, everyone, for being here. My name is Jodie Blackstock. I'm also a barrister at Garden Court Chambers. I sign the Declaration of Conscience by Lawyers Are Responsible, and I want to explain why. Some of my colleagues have expressed concern or disdain at the Declaration. The chair of the bar has said that we all need to apply the cab rank rule, and is disappointed that, in the name of the climate, some barristers have chosen to breach this rule. I've dedicated my career to advancing access to justice. It has been at the core of my work at the NGO Justice and now at Garden Court Chambers. I've been surrounded by inspiring colleagues and those who agree with me that there should be equality before the law and a fair legal system. I do not want to invoke disappointment, but I also do not want to be complicit in acts that will incontrovertibly lead to the deaths of hundreds, if not thousands of people. There is a climate emergency. This has been proclaimed by the UK Parliament. We face an existential threat, says the Her Majesty's Government and Treasury. Further fossil fuel extraction is a moral and economic madness, says the UN Secretary General. We are way off track to keeping within the globally agreed 1.5 degree limit and need to take immediate action to avoid disaster, said the IPCC last week. Today, the UK Climate Change Committee said that we have lost a decade and every month that passes locks in more damage. This is our present reality. It affects everyone, and it is happening now. This is a bright line above all other rights and wrongs, ethical and moral choices. My core duties as a barrister are to act with honesty, integrity, and to uphold the rule of law. That means not breaking the law. New fossil fuel extraction is certain to result in death, destruction of homes, and displacement of people. I cannot and will not be complicit in murder, criminal damage, and forced migration. So I will not offer my services to new fossil fuel projects. That does not mean that I will not act for those fossil fuel executives charged with corporate manslaughter for those actions over the next decade or 20 years' time. They have a right to a defence and are entitled to a fair trial. I would act without fear or favour. That is my professional responsibility. But what I cannot advise on is how to commit that crime in the first place, or use my skills to make sure it happens. Would you do that? And what of the protesters? Peaceful protest is a fundamental right. Climate protesters are being criminalised for pleading with the government to reduce the UK's carbon emissions. These are ordinary people, mothers and grandmothers worried about our future. Instead of listening to them, we arrest and put them on trial, and in some cases, even silence them from explaining to juries their reasons. This is because the government has signalled that protests are wrong and should be stopped through proposed changes to the Public Order Bill and bans even on public workers striking. Should we not all be on the street demanding solutions to the climate disaster? Because we are silent and criminalise those that speak, government has been able to approve a new coal mine and multiple oil and gas licences in the North Sea. New fossil fuel projects that the protesters and the evidence are telling us is homicide. This is subversion of the rule of law. I won't take criminal or civil action against those brave enough to peacefully demand the change that is urgent and essential. I don't believe it is in the public interest, and that is the test that prosecutors have to apply. Would you? Thank you.